Hey, what's up guys? It's Skytoon Meebo Gaming here, and today I'm joined by some of my friends, and we're going to be discussing the biggest announcements from February 17th's Nintendo Direct. Tyler, do you want to introduce yourself first? Go ahead and let everyone know your name, Instagram. If you don't have Instagram, you can tell them a different social media of yours, and favorite Nintendo game.
Well, as you said, my name's Tyler. My Instagram is The Nerd Effect. And my favorite Nintendo game has to be Wind Waker, just because it's such a great game overall with a great soundtrack, and I hope it comes to Switch soon.
Hi, my name is Lily. My Instagram is rthing69. My favorite Nintendo game is Breath of the Wild, it's the best game of all time.
Hello, my name is Brody. I don't have an Instagram, however, I do have a Twitch, which is Brody_the_bro05. My favorite game has to be Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I've been playing Smash since Brawl, and I have started to get competitive in Ultimate, and I main Pokemon trainer.
Alright, so the first topic we'll touch on is actually perfect because Brody just mentioned Smash. Pyra and Mythra are coming to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. What do you think about our Xenoblade Chronicles 2 characters being added to the roster?
I am actually very excited. One of the only characters I actually wanted in Smash. And like I said before, my main is Pokemon Trainer, which they have a very similar gimmick to Pokemon Trainer. You can switch between the two characters, which I think is really cool, because it's part of the reason I main Pokemon Trainer, so I probably will check them out and possibly main them if they are fun. And I know a lot of people complain about the anime sword fighters, but I actually really enjoy them. And also, Xenoblade 2 has some awesome music, and I'm really excited to see which tracks they add.
Yeah, Sakurai will probably do one of his classic presentations eventually, so I'm excited to see how he shows off all of the new things like the stage, where you ride on the back of Gramps, and the new characters, as well as the music and backgrounds and everything like that. It's always a good thing to look forward to whenever that happens.
All I'm gonna say is that Foresight is going to be OP. That's that.
Honestly, for the character, I feel like they could have an interesting gimmick. The trailer really reminded me of Palutena's trailer in Smash 4, which that alone gives me good vibes. But I gotta say that the stage could have been better. It's just pretty generic, in my opinion. It seems like every DLC fighter has just had a stage with cameos in the background, and references are nice, but don't overdo them. So I'm looking forward to it, but not getting my hopes too high.
What would you have rather seen?
I have no preference as to what I would have seen, because I've never played Xenoblade 2, but I'm just tired of the same generic thing with DLC stages.
And I feel like the way that they presented Pyra, well, specifically Pyra, but also Mythra, coming to Smash, I even said it in my reaction to it, that it was very strange to me that a character would leave her own game, and it set up perfectly for a Smash announcement, which I really appreciated how they did that. And as much as not everybody is ever going to be satisfied with what we get as a character, it's still cool that they pleased a certain crowd, which it's not over. The people that are wanting a certain character may still get it, but it is very cool to see some well-known characters. I think Xenoblade has quite the following, and I enjoyed it. Mario Golf Super Rush is our next topic, and most people are saying it's just another Mario sports game, which, I mean, it is, but do you think this has more potential than, let's say, Mario Tennis Aces?
I feel like maybe. The only reason why I say that is because of the Mii. They're bringing Mii's back, so it's a possibility. I feel like it really just depends on how people like the controls and like the features and stuff. But I'd say maybe. That's a maybe.
And I do like how they integrated the motion controls. Similar to Wii Sports, you can actually hold your Joy-Con as if it's a golf club, and that's just pretty neat. It's neat to see that implemented, and who knows what that could mean for the actual gameplay.
The mode that interests me the most is the speed mode, because recently with the Mario sports games, it seems like they've just made a sports game and shoved Mario characters needlessly in it. The speed mode actually has Mario elements with the power-ups, and it looks very interesting and cool, and I just might check the game out because of it.
I think that it has a lot of potential. Some people were not as satisfied as they could have been with Mario Tennis Aces. You were allowed to use the Joy-Con and swing it like a tennis racket in that game, weren't you?
Yes, there was an entire mode dedicated to it called Swing Mode, but most people decided to avoid that as it was very clunky.
I remember golf on Wii Sports was pretty good. They didn't have any major issues as far as I was concerned, so I hope it's somewhat close to those kind of integrations, and it's just easy to be able to swing, and it identifies your swing and doesn't cause too much of a hassle, but I guess we'll see. The Animal Crossing New Horizons Super Mario update was announced back in September, but during the Direct, we got a much better look at what the update has to offer. It's a big update, putting a lot into the game. So what are your thoughts on all of the new information we received?
Well, I grew up with Animal Crossing, I got City Folk back on its release date, and ever since I've just been in love. So back then, the entire house in the game was full of the Mario items, so this update as a whole just made me ecstatic. Everything they're adding, from collectible coins to the warp pipes, it's just such a neat update, and I'd love to see what they can implement in the future.
My first Animal Crossing game was New Leaf, and I really liked the Nintendo furniture they had, which some were the Mario ones, which I think is really cool that they're adding them back. I'm hoping they're going to add more, but the main thing of the Mario items that interests me is the warp pipe, because it seems like it has a lot of potential to do some cool things.
My first Animal Crossing game was City Folk, but seeing this update really made me excited. Like Brody, I'm very interested in the warp pipe. I also liked the whole flag feature that they did, but I feel like I'm excited to see what people are going to be able to do with all the coins, the thwomps, everything, and see what kind of Mario areas they can kind of make in their islands.
Animal Crossing by itself already gives you so much room for creativity, but as far as using the warp pipe, for example, that could totally just get rid of people having to spend their bells on slopes and other things like that. Transportation is so much easier. Instead of running from one end of the island to the other, you hop in a pipe and you're exactly where you want to be. So this speeds up a lot of the process that you would originally have to do in the game. Does anybody have any good ideas for what they're possibly planning for their island?
Yes, I'm going to make this, I had this red idea before. It was going to be like all paintings and stuff, but now I'm just going to block it off, use a warp pipe, and just have the warp pipe lead from the shopping area that I'm making to Red's area, and then have Red's area be a whole Mario themed area, which I'm really excited to get started on.
Any specific ideas? I will say that this update does give me hope, because as Brody mentioned, there were many Nintendo items in New Leaf, but what some people forget about is there were actually Nintendo villagers in New Leaf. You could get characters such as Epona and Ganon as villagers. So considering this year's the Zelda 35th anniversary, I'm hoping we could see those make a return.
Maybe after the Mario update, maybe they will do a Zelda update. I would love to see that.
Yes, that would make my life a whole lot easier.
Yeah, I think that'd be really cool, adding more Nintendo-themed furniture.
Do you have any ideas for something that they announced for your own island?
I'm not really the best at decorating my island, so I don't really have many ideas. I have completely demolished my island and haven't gone back to redecorating it, and this update may just give me the motivation to finish redecorating it and use some of the Mario items.
That's good. And that's what I'm loving about Animal Crossing is, well, obviously, it's your own world. You can do what you want, and sure, it takes time to restart, but if that's what you want to do and have your island look the way you want, then that's what you gotta do. I've seen a lot of people put in lots of time and hard work into their islands, and I've gotten a lot of ideas. I've done several island visits on Twitch streams, and it's cool to get ideas from other people and just kind of take some inspiration. Another game with an update coming is Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. We're getting a paid DLC that stretches from May 28th to November and comes in 2 waves. I've actually never read through this on YouTube, so here's a quick rundown. When you purchase the DLC for $20, you get a new weapon and a new costume for Link. Then the first wave happens in June, and you get an expanded roster new weapons, new challenges in the Royal Ancient Lab, and new enemies. The second wave happens in November and brings new character vignettes, new stages, an expanded roster, and new battle skills for existing characters. So, quite a lot. What do you guys think? Did you even expect more content for this game?
Yeah, I feel like most people expected it, but I'm really excited for this, for the DLC. I've already got a few predictions on like the new roster. I'm just really excited, but it's also going to give me the motivation to finally finish the 100% of this game.
To be fair, I did definitely expect more content. The original Hyrule Warriors on Wii U did get added updates over time, so it was just a matter of time before this would get anything. But I am really interested to see what they implement, specifically the new challenging enemies, because that is something that I wouldn't have expected. I don't know how in-depth they're gonna go with that stuff, but I'm definitely gonna get the expansion no matter what.
Well, do you think it's just gonna be more like how they did with enemies in the base game of Age of Calamity? Because they had different types of moblins, they had different types of bokoblins and Lynels and every single enemy that you can think of. Are they gonna do that, or are they gonna bring some type of new enemy?
I think it really depends on what route they go with it, because Breath of the Wild on its own doesn't have as much enemy variety as other Zelda games, so there's not much to draw from unless they take things from a separate title. So it really depends on what they're planning here, because it could go either way.
I did expect more content, though I am not very excited because I do have the game. I've only really gone a little bit past the part that is in the demo, so I haven't played the game that much, so I should probably go back and do that first before thinking about getting the DLC.
Well, you got like 4 months, so hopefully that's enough time. Personally, I didn't really expect any more content to come of this game. I thought that this would be it. When initially finishing the game without trying to get any characters that you have to unlock, I did think that it was kind of a small roster compared to Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, but I'm glad that they are expanding the roster because that just makes for new experiences, new challenges, and who wouldn't want to play as a character or a villain or some kind of enemy, something like that that might not have been in the base game. So it's a good opportunity that maybe if you didn't see somebody that you wanted, maybe they'll show up. What is everybody's favorite characters that you don't have to unlock from the game?
Definitely gonna be Urbosa. I love her lightning charge. I mean, I found her pretty easy to use and stuff, but although I don't like the fact that her special does lag the game a lot, but she is still my favorite character in Breath of the Wild, favorite character in Age of Calamity, as of story character-wise.
My favorite character is Mipha. I do just like her water-based attacks, her combos are really fun to use, and it's just nice having Mipha in the game. Obviously, it was gonna happen being a main champion, but it's still nice to play as her for the first time.
For me, of the little characters I've played, my favorite is probably Link, because the only characters I have played are Link, Zelda, Impa, and Rivali, so I haven't gotten to try out the others.
I have to honestly agree with Brody, because there's something about just the classic style that Link has with the Master Sword and all of that seems, at least to me, a little bit easier than possibly Impa, that there's the clones, and it's all about how you curve your playing style, but Link is definitely a basic, which sometimes it works for some people, sometimes it doesn't work for others. Staying on topic of Zelda, we saw Mr. Aonuma, and I think it's fair to say most people immediately expected something new for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. Instead, we got the rumored Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD announcement. People really wanted a Zelda triple pack, kind of like what they did for Super Mario 3D All-Stars, but I'm still excited about this remaster. What is everyone's thoughts on it?
It's fitting that we get a Skyward Sword HD for the 35th anniversary, because I'm not sure if you knew this, but Skyward Sword was originally released in 2011 for the 25th. So in general, it's somewhat of a celebratory game. It's the first one in the Zelda timeline, so I am excited to experience it for the first time. It's nice having the refined control scheme, because I know a lot of people complained about the force motion controls, but it's nice that they're allowing you to use the stick instead.
I have never played Skyward Sword, so it would be fun to play, though it is a little disappointing that they are pricing it at $60, but they know people are going to buy it anyways, even though it was originally released cheaper. I still might buy it anyways, because I haven't played Skyward Sword myself, and being able to play without motion controls would be great.
Honestly though, I really do like the function. It's an unpopular opinion, but I like the fact that you can do separated Joy-Cons and act like you're swinging the Master Sword and putting up the Hylian shield or firing an arrow. I think that that's kind of a way that makes you feel more immersed into the action of the game. Although with the way that they showed during the Direct with the handheld mode and just using the sticks, that's another great option. It comes down to playstyle. I don't have a problem with motion controls. Some people do. So maybe having the option for the motion controls will change a few people's minds, but that's just something that people have to kind of discover on their own.
While on the topic of the controls, though, let's just talk about those Joy-Cons for a second.
Yes!
Because, man, they look so nice. I've already got my set ordered. I am ready for those.
Those look amazing. As it has been said, the left Joy-Con is inspired by the Hylian shield, and the right Joy-Con is inspired by the Master Sword. So they put some very deep thought into this. Are they different, like, shades of blue? Did anybody catch that?
I want to say off of the top of my head, they are, but I don't know.
They are, in fact, slightly different, which I know that bothers some people, but to me, it just looks really nice either way.
The right Joy-Con is the sword and left is shield to mimic what Link does in the game, him using the sword in the right hand. Though, originally Link was actually left-handed. The first game they made Link right-handed was Twilight Princess for the Wii, because most people are right-handed and they wanted to imitate most people, so they switched hands that Link uses his sword to make it to the right hand. From then, Link has been right-handed, which the Joy-Cons mimic.
Have we seen an option, Brody, for there to be like a swapped way to do that? So, you know, it's suited for everybody, no matter what hand they are dominant with?
You don't need to use it in the right hand. It still works both ways. It's just the game mimics right-handed people, but you still do the same motions with your left-handed suit to control it the same.
Because I know with the Mario Golf, it was shown that you could change maybe left-handed to right-handed, so I didn't know if that was confirmed in this game.
I do not think it is a feature to change Link into left-hand, but it does not matter.
On that topic that we were talking about of the Joy-Cons, I can't wait for them. They're beautiful. I love Joy-Cons. I'm a big Joy-Con enthusiast. And I don't know about you guys, but I can't wait to get more drift.
Same here. Every single Joy-Con I own has drifted at one point, and I can't wait for it to happen 2 more times.
Lily, what do you think about the fact that Breath of the Wild 2, unfortunately, is not being talked about yet? What do you think about Skyward Sword?
I mean, I'm excited for Skyward Sword. I've never played it, so I'm excited to get the chance to actually play this. And about Breath of the Wild 2, about us not having the update for it, honestly, I was expecting it. So going into the Direct, I was expecting absolutely nothing about Breath of the Wild 2. I'm happy that they're at least confirming that we're going to get it within the next 10 months. I'm going to assume it's going to happen in the next Direct, but at the same time, I remain without expectations for it.
I do have a theory. My theory is that because of Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity's DLC, that the second wave is starting in November, and that can only last people so long because each wave has their own bits of content, but it's not enough to hold people way too long. So my theory is that we're gonna have our next general Nintendo Direct, because they did mention that this was only for the first part of 2021. How I see this going is that because the DLC pretty much ends in November, I feel like we'll have a Nintendo Direct in either November or December, and we will 100% get that information that Aonuma was talking about for Breath of the Wild 2. Because if it's coming this year, during 2021, but they also released some Zelda stuff to keep us at bay and kind of distract us while they keep working on Breath of the Wild 2, I think that that is kind of the master plan, and when we're out of the DLC and we're ready to move on to the next thing, we're gonna get a bit of information. Obviously, I'd love to see a release date, but it is up to their progress on the game if it's still running smoothly, and whatever they're ready to reveal to us. Nintendo is known for ending their directs with a grand finale, a huge announcement that nobody ever expects, and that's exactly what we got. Splatoon 3. Yep, you heard that right. We got an announcement that Splatoon 3 is coming in 2022. I was in total shock after this one. Anybody else?
Same here.
I wasn't actually expecting Splatoon 3 news. I didn't know when I was expecting it. I was expecting it eventually, but I did not think that direct would be announcing it. And when I did see it, I got really excited. It is the thing I am most excited for that was announced in this direct. Splatoon 2, I put so many hours in it. I got X rank in every mode, and I grinded it a ton. And so, Splatoon 3, I am ready to grind in it again. It seems like this game is going to have much more story, just because the intro showing it off in the Splatlands outside of Splatsville seems like they are going to have a bunch of story. I'm hoping the story mode is more difficult than the one in Splatoon 2. I'm hoping it's closer to the difficulty of Octo expansion, which I had a lot of fun in. And some of the new features I'm excited for is the advanced movement. It seems like there is some sort of dash you can do while swimming, and some sort of dash while swimming upwards.
I'm glad you brought those up, because those are two new squid moves while in squid form, and they were the squid roll that allows you to twirl out of your own ink, and then the squid surge, which lets you go really fast up walls and then burst out at the top.
Those I am really excited to learn how to use correctly and just how to beat everyone by getting good at it. And also the way you start the game also seems very interesting.
Oh, the metal boxes.
Shooting yourself off from drones, making it so you sort of choose where you start. Pushing you forward seems very interesting and seems much more complicated, which I will enjoy figuring out how to correctly use. The bow weapon looked very interesting. From what I've seen, it shoots 3 projectiles out. It's a very interesting concept, and also one thing, the blasters have a different design. I'm not sure if they're going to work different or if they're going to work the same, just look different, but I am excited.
What do you think about all this, Lily? Do you think you're gonna set aside those dualies and pick up a bow? Or do you think that maybe there's a new weapon that they haven't even shown that you're excited for?
Well, first of all, I mean, I'm gonna say that I hope that they bring dualies into Splatoon 3, but they've yet to be confirmed, which frightens me. I'm really excited. I'll definitely get the bow a shot. I'm just really excited to see what kind of weapons they're going to have, what kind of specials they're bringing in from Splatoon 1 that I've never had the chance to play. I did read on Twitter that they're changing them up a bit, and there was the whole little crab turret thing, which I'm excited to find out about that. It seemed like an auto bomb, but apparently it's a special. I'm just thrilled that they also did the whole the unisex thing with the hair, so that way they're not. It's kind of like Animal Crossing. Yeah, I'm just all around thrilled, and I was not expecting this until at least the next console.
And that's really quick, that's another thing, because everybody is saying, oh, it's way too soon, it's on the Switch, we shouldn't be receiving Splatoon 3 on the Switch, we shouldn't be receiving Splatoon 3 this fast, but you have also got to remember, there were only 2 years between Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2, whereas there's going to be 5 years between Splatoon 2 and Splatoon 3.
Yes.
So it was time for a new game.
I can see that. I remember talking about this the day prior to the Direct. I was having some thoughts about it, but then I was like, no, it's not going to happen. Splatoon is the kind of game where each game is too similar to the other to have it on the same console. That's what I was thinking about. So I'm just wondering why they announced this. And also, it's a little early to announce it since it's coming out next year. And I'm just going to assume it's coming out late next year because I don't want to get my hopes up for like a February release.
I agree with you because there's some games that, for the first things that come to my mind are Metroid Prime 4. They haven't set a release date, but they seem so far in the future that it's almost like, hey, if you're gonna release a game, maybe tell us when there's a few months versus a year. As for like Bayonetta 3, the producer of that game literally said on Twitter to forget that you saw anything because they had to scrap it and start from scratch, and it's gonna take way longer than they intended it to. I kind of think that developers, whenever they're ready and it's maybe 5 to even 10 months away, then let us know, but a whole year, right when we got into 2021? Come on, Nintendo. But Tyler, what did you think about the Splatoon 3 announcement?
Well, out of everyone, I am the person that plays Splatoon the least. So while I'm still excited for it, I am not being nearly as focused on it as you guys. Personally, I'm going to get it on launch and everything. It'll be a fun game, but it's not where my attention is right now. I'm just focusing on Zelda 35 and hoping that something comes out of that.
Well, hopefully there will be some cool stuff that awaits, but we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this discussion. Thank you all so much for joining me.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, thank you. It was fun.
Thank you. Once again, all of their social media links will be down in the description below, so be sure to go check everybody out. They're all awesome people and definitely deserve to be acknowledged for their hard work on this collab. So thank you once again to you guys, and of course, thank you to everybody so much for watching. Let me know on Twitter what your favorite part of the Nintendo Direct was, and join the Discord if you want to be further involved in the conversation. All of my social media links are down in the description below, so be sure to go check those out, as well as all of the other previous video coverage from the Nintendo Direct. I hope everyone found some of our thoughts and opinions exciting. If you did, or if you want us to do another video like this, be sure to leave a like on this video, share it around to some friends, and smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see ya in the next video.